Ready to go. Good evening. Welcome to January 28th, 2026 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for January. Please, let's stand and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First, I want to welcome our new board members, Gregory Campus and Scott Travis. Thank you for volunteering your service to the town of Hyde Park, and welcome to you both. I'm personally excited about both of your backgrounds and the contributions I'm very certain you're going to be making in months to come, particularly. Both of you have fantastic backgrounds and experience and training and impressive resumes. So we're looking forward to it. Before I open the continued public hearing for hospice, Mr. Travis would like to speak.
I'm recusing myself from this application for Hudson Valley Hospice as I have a conflict.
And I've just learned also that, Gregory, you as well.
Yes, I am recusing myself from the variance application for hospice, as I also have a conflict of interest.
Okay. Could you show them where to go, Catherine, please?
Show them the door.
Into the cone of silence.
Exit stage left. So may I have a motion to open the continued public hearing for HV Hospice?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. So I don't see anybody. Is anybody here from hospice?
No.
Okay. I'm going to make a brief statement with regard to this. There are ongoing questions regarding the drainage on the site, which need to be resolved before the ZBA can act. So, Sarah, do you have anything to say as well?
Yes, I believe that there was a letter from the town to the applicant, so hopefully they will be in communication and find a resolution.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I need a motion to continue the public hearing to March 25th, 2026.
Motion to continue the public hearing to March 25th.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. It's passed.
They can come back, right?
I think
Yes.
so.
Did you want to amend
As far as...
shifting any of the applicants? Did you want to spec
I have it this way, yeah. Oh, spec. I could do spec first, yeah.
Well, we had talked about it,
Yeah.
so I don't know if you want to.
Does-
do it, so.
Shall we?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Want me to make a motion?
I'm going to do it right now. Yeah, I'm going to change the order of the agenda, so NRI will go last.
I'm used to it. I've been Sarah my whole life.
This is a new public hearing. Secman, number 2026-017Z, rather.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
you may want to make a motion to amend the agenda accordingly,
Okay.
and just to formalize that.
Yes, I've been instructed by council that I need to make a motion to amend the agenda. May I have a
Motion to to amend the agenda.
can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great, okay, thank you. Thank you, council. So back to this new public hearing. This is Secman 2026-01Z, 6 Popping Lane, Hyde Park, grid number 6066-04-65044. Applicant is Bana Chora Lofren, and the owners are Sirhan Sekman and a very difficult name to pronounce. This is an area variance, section 108-4.3G2A on the waterfront district to change a stream corridor setback from the required 100 feet to 80.1 feet for the installation of a swimming pool and associated access associated with a single-family dwelling. Madam Secretary, was the public hearing notice published?
Yes, in the Poughkeepsie Journal on January 22nd, 2026.
Thank you. May I have a motion to open the public meeting for Seckman?
Move to open the public hearing for second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. May I? Thank you.
I brought so I can make my presentation.
Sure.
I have no idea.
Here, I'll pull mine up. Sorry.
We have technical people on hand. Yeah, that's exactly right. But either way is fine. I like what you said.
Maybe in the future we should do this, like, since she knows that we could, like, okay, identify.
Yes.
You'll do that motion.
Right, right.
Nice choreography.
I like it. You're always fine-tuning things.
Nature of engineering.
Okay.
So good evening. I'm Bana Shura, the architect representing
Thank
Mr.
you.
and Mrs. Sackman on this application. So I'll start by giving you a brief. I'm sure you're all very familiar with it, but just in case. So the Sackman just bought this property a few months ago, and they're in the process of renovating it, and it's going to be their sort of summer home. And so we would like to get approval to build a new swimming pool. Otherwise, that's the only change that we're adding. So this is the survey. We go over the railroad, and then the property is located here. Currently, there's a deck and a exterior space that is above ground, and this is all pretty rocky area. The current property had obtained previously a variance for the deck to protrude into that that right of way, and then so we are requesting that we fill our pool is going to be within that area, and it's going to also protrude in the corner. So that's the existing deck, the existing structure, the existing garage. So the pool will be directly behind the garage, not visible from the approach, and at a lower level, the level that is currently the lower deck. So we're going to include that, and in order to be able to go around it and have some space to sit, this is the favorable location for it. Like I said, there was this variance for the deck. This is the 100-foot, and we're requesting to have a variance to intrude into that line by that small triangle.
Mm-hmm.
I have some pictures if you like to see.
Please, yes.
Is that the file? Yes. So I don't know. I was hoping I can show them one after the other. I think so. So this is when you approach the structure, the two-car
Can you blow that
garage.
up at all?
I'm sorry?
Expand?
I guess so. I missed it.
Upper right.
Upper right,
Upper
second.
right, black,
Black here?
square.
No, keep-
Square,
Yeah,
okay.
That's it. There you
Hey, we got it. Okay. I'm a Mac. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the approach. You come into that windy road, and you arrive, and that's all you see. Basically, the house is completely behind that structure. This is when you go around it. As you see, this is the garage, which is above ground. You go around, and then after that, the cliff, well, it's a rock that kind of on which the house has been built. So we want to continue that line, and that's behind that line that the pool will be. This is from the riverside looking back at the house. So you see that white line, that's the foundation of the first floor. So we're going to keep, the pool is going to be at that level, is going to get up to this existing staircase, to which they also got a variance, I think, for that setbacks. And then it's going to go up to the level of the lower deck, which is right here. So we're going to fill in this box behind the trees. I'm just running around it here. And that's where we're going to be. So it's above ground pool with an infinity level. We're going to take the rocks that we're going to kind of relocate and push them against the pool, so from the river side would look like the rocks were always there. So we're not exposing, like right now you see the foundation is exposed. So we're going to mostly be filling the pool inside that box. It's just that corner it's going to intrude into that rock. And we're going to take the rocks from here and then fill in. So for when you walk around this or when you're sailing in the river, you're not going to see any of that wall. And again, this wall will also be camouflaged with some stones to make it look more natural. I think there's another look to it, at it. That's when you look at it sideways. So technically, the rock will continue here and fill in, and you don't see that exposed base of the house. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks like it all makes sense, except for stream corridor.
Right.
It's a river, right?
Right, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know, yes. Well, as you see, it goes up and it dips down and then it goes up again. So
Right.
we're not disturbing that at all. It's literally going to sit where that rock is already protruding.
Thank you. Questions and comments?
I have just one question. Can you touch upon the impact to the neighborhood in terms of the construction? So will it be, will the neighborhood be disrupted by this
Right.
much or for very long?
But it is not going to be long because, like I said, it's going to be above ground. So they're going to be probably chipping. This will be the shallow end of the pool. So we're literally going to fill in the open space and put the pool inside of that. So
How
there
long
will
does
be
that
some
take?
chipping
How
and
long does
some
that take?
noise. Well, it's shale, but you never know with shale. It could be one way. So we got an
But you're not
estimate about few
exploding
days.
anything?
No, we can't. The house is sitting right on that
In
rock.
terms of the rocks?
Yes, that's going to be just being able to pull, chip it.
I would
and-
think jackhammers, yeah?
Probably, yes. Yeah, we're not going to be doing any blast. We can't. The house is sitting,
Obviously not.
and we would like to do that sooner than later because they're renovating the interior of the house. So we need to adjust it before, yes.
Thank you.
The depth of the pool coming from the deck, that's where the shallow end is, and the further you go out towards the infinity, that's where the deep end of it is?
No, actually, the infinity is basic. The shallow end is starting where the rock is towards the house.
Okay.
The infinity is just the water.
Right.
Just the surface follows the longer side of the house, of the pool.
I've always been an ion guy for things, and I did take a drive up. I didn't go onto the property, but I
Right.
took a drive up to see from the end of the roadway.
Yeah.
And is there any way, I don't know when you're going to start, and I don't know if anyone is up there during the summertime, that if we chose to do so, take a field trip?
Yes.
And take a look at the property, eyes on?
Oh, absolutely. I think the property is available. They don't live there yet, so I can double check with them.
Generally, we do that before.
Before? Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
it's sort of now past
Past that, okay.
that point. But
Very good.
it's an important procedure that I think we do often. Kathleen usually sets that up with the owner or the architect and get permission. But it's a great idea, but we're sort of past that now.
Is there any reason we could wait till next month to do it? And,
I'd rather not.
yeah.
I'd rather not.
Now, with that view, you're coming out.
This-
How far is that going to be out from that view where that tree is, and the house, that back deck is? How far, you're gonna cut down that tree and,
No, 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 it's all behind it. It's at the line, let me see if the other picture is better. You see, it's at that line, you see the trees are in front, way closer to the river. So we're gonna come in that line straight at this point, then come up to that level.
and you're asking for 15 more feet?
Only on that corner because of the angle. We're following parallel to the house.
Okay.
So basically, it's just a triangle, not the whole structure. Most of it is within the setbacks.
Just that corner.
Let me bring the site plan.
This corner piece here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a deck? Or,
No, the deck
That's
is,
the rock.
that's the rock. The deck is right where your finger is.
right, that's the
Yeah,
deck.
and then the darkened is the infinity pool.
That's the pool.
I did a little outline on this, but not so accurate, but
Gregory, what's your specific
here is the
concern?
survey.
Or-
So if we take
Everything
a,
has been answered now, but this
Yeah.
is with that question of the 15 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So the
Which
middle
is referring to
one
the
is
triangles,
100
that's
feet.
this line here
That one
versus
maybe
that.
is
So this is
90
the
feet,
100
and
foot
that'll be
distance that's agreed.
Mhm.
So, yeah, to pull the pool all the way back, it'd just be that little bit.
A little bit there.
Scott?
Got it.
I have a quick question. What kind of mechanicals is the pool going to require? Is it going to require any other additional footprint that you're going to need? Is it going to be stored within the existing footprint?
sure,
You know,
the pool
heaters?
equipment,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
will put them behind in that area.
So that's not an
No,
issue?
no, there is already a generator, we're going in that zone.
Okay.
Yes.
Good question.
Yeah, good.
Excellent.
Okay.
It's all in behind the house right now, it's hard to tell what's at the front. Always call the river side, the west side. So the less important view of the house is here, and that's where all the HVAC equipment are and the generator. So it's all on the back side. It's already there. We're just gonna add the pool equipment to it.
So for the future, you're going to be there, and you would see all of this visually.
Right.
And to Scott's question, that would come up, and we would see visually where the mechanical is going to be.
Got it.
I don't think there's anybody from the public here. No? Okay, great. I'm going to,
All right, Kathleen, did you receive any written comment?
No, I did not.
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
We had a communication with the neighbor right to the left of us. He actually reached out to the owners directly, and they had a quick question, and it was
Perfect.
about privacy, and that was
Good.
all settled.
We like that.
We clarified that it's all behind the garage, so they won't see more than they already see.
Okay. Given the fact there's no more questions, I'm going to ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We do have a resolution for you.
Oh, that's great. I just was.
Am I reading?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, resolution to grant an area variance to, I'm just going to say the sentence.
Yes, it's exactly, that's correct, yes.
6 Poppingja Lane, that's not right, Hyde Park, New York, 12538. Today is January 28th, 2026, and this is resolution number 2026-01Z. Whereas the applicants, you, on behalf of the Sackmans have submitted an application for an area variance to add a pool for family residential use, aka the project, at the property located at 6 Poppingja Lane, identified as tax parcel number 6066-04-605044 in the waterfront zoning district, also known as the site. Whereas the project is depicted on a plan entitled Site Plan Phase 2 Pool and Patio, prepared by Chor Architect PC, dated December 10th, 2025. That's a revised date, and that is known as the plan. Whereas the applicant seeks an area variance from the zoning laws, section 108-4.3G, section 2, paragraph A, to permit a stream quarter setback of 80.1 feet where 100 feet is required. This is the requested variance. And whereas pursuant to 6 New York CRR 617.5 C17, the granting of an area variance for single-family, two-family, or three-family residence is a Type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act and is not subject to review under the Act. And whereas a duly noticed public hearing was held on January 28, 2026, during a duly noticed public meeting during which all who wished to speak were heard. Whereas, now therefore be it resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals makes the following findings in accordance with Section 267-B of the Town Law and Hyde Park Zoning Law, Section 108-33.6B2 regarding the requested variance. 1. The requested variance, it's a question, the requested variance will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The requested variance will not produce an undesirable change in the neighborhood as it is within the character of a waterfront zoning district. The proposed area of the pool is 576 square feet, a small portion of the overall site area. The pool is not visible to neighbors as the house is approached. The design includes an infinity edge, which should make the proposed pool attractive when viewed from the Hudson River. The question is that whether the benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the variance. The response: the location of the pool and the constraints of the site are such that without the requested variance, it's not physically possible to have a pool in the planned location. Placing the pool in another location is not feasible and incongruous with the previously granted variances and plans for the site. The requested variance is not numerically substantial. The setback variance request of approximately 20 feet is numerically moderate in relation to the required setback distance. The requested variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions of the general neighborhood or district. The requested variance, based on the site plans and the public hearing, is not expected to have a negative or adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the general neighborhood or district. The difficulties are not self-created. The requested variance is not solely created by the applicant. The previous owner was granted a variance to increase the projection of the rear deck where the pool will be adjacent, 88.6 feet from the mean high tower waterline. The current requested variance can be considered a continuation of plans to improve the site. Be it further resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals hereby grants the requested variance subject to the following conditions. 1. Pursuant to Section 108-33.5F1, the authorized activity must commence within 1 year from the date of issuance, otherwise it is invoked. 2. Payment of all fees and escrow. Motion to...
Sorry, if I can just jump in for
Please.
one correction. On the secret whereas clause,
Oh, yes.
and I apologize for not catching this before the meeting, but that should be revised to refer to section 617.5C12, which is specific to accessory structures such as pools for a residential property. But it's still a type 2. Yes.
Good pickup.
I'll revise that tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
We need a motion to adjust the resolution?
Approve as revised.
Approve as
Do we
written.
want to do just feet too?
No, that's correct.
So may I have a motion to
Approve as written.
approve as revised?
Move to approve as revised.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. So, Madam Secretary, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Mr. Campus,
Aye.
Mr. Travis,
Aye.
Ms. Daly,
Aye.
Vice Chair Perkins,
Aye.
and Chair Bowen.
Yes. Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good
Really
luck.
appreciate
We'll
it.
expect an invitation for the
Yes.
pool party,
First party.
margaritas, etc.
Yes, I'm definitely giving that to the owners to know.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it, and nice to meet you all.
Bye-bye. You too. Yes, you may get up.
I'm just gonna go for the margarita.
Okay. So we have in front of us NRI Hyde Park, number 2025-17Z, 1995-2066 Campus Road and 3957 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, grid numbers 6063-2, 889857, and 6064-04, 965164, NRI Hyde Park LLC, and our representatives will identify themselves in a moment. We have 5 area variances to consider. I'd like a motion to open and actually to continue the public hearing for NRI Hyde Park.
Motion to open and continue the public hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, okay. Good evening, sirs.
Good evening.
Please, for the record, state your name.
Okay, it's good to be back. My name is Michael Zarin. I'm from the law firm Zarin and Steinmetz. I've been special counsel or land use counsel for this project for the last number of years. To my right is Lou Dorso. Lou Dorso is with NRI, the applicant, and is the project manager and has been throughout the entire project. And you know him, and he's been before you.
I recognize
And
his face,
to
yeah.
my left is Chris Lapine from Labella Engineering, who have been the engineers for the project. Two things I just wanted to just briefly lead with. The first is, I understand, or I could see and aware that there are 2 new members, and we've been asked to, and want to be respectful to, bring you up to speed on the project. So tonight, I'll give a very quick overview, slides of the project, just 6 or 7 slides that'll give you a sense of feel for the project, including the site plan, and then Chris Lapine will review the variances. Many of the board members are obviously aware of both those, including that most of the variances that we're seeking now are similar to what we had received previously with respect to the prior approved plan. This is an application for an amended site plan. It occurred after we received our full approvals for the plan. One and only came on as the brand and facility manager for the project and requested a series of modifications or revisions to the project, including they were willing and to undergo the COCO's redevelopment, which was something that the town board had really, the planning board and the town board had really wanted us to do previously, but for various reasons we were unable. That's probably the main change in the project that I'll get into in a second. But I'll go over quickly the project as soon as Chris brings it up. I do want to apologize for the urgency of our letter. There is a real urgency, as I described. We've been for you in October and November. You have details on the project and had made presentations on the project and the variances. The ZBA could not act, as you all know, until the lead agency, Planning Board, completed SECRA, and they issued their amended negative declaration last week. And I closed a copy of that with the cover letter, a pretty detailed, exhaustive 25-page negative declaration, including discussion of the variances and their finding that the amendments to the site plan would not result in any new significant adverse impacts, including the variances. The urgency of before you today, as well as will be before the town board next week on a zoning amendment, which has the same situation. We presented to them, but they couldn't act until the planning board, as the lead agency, completed SECRA, is we have an Indiana bat window, if any of you have heard of that.
Yep.
Okay, that bat window prevents us from cutting any trees after March 31st. We have an opening from October till March 31st. The planning board will allow us to cut the trees around the Cocos area once they issue their conditional site plan, which they hope to issue either on the 18th of February or March 4th. We have one more meeting before that, after the neg deck. We've been going through many iterations with them and an extensive amount of discussion and modifications. So they cannot act, obviously, until you act and until the town board acts. So that's the urgency of having this board and the town board act, and then the planning board can act. And we're hoping to have 3 weeks of that window that we can finish the tree cutting. As many of you know, construction started on this project about 6 months ago. We've completed all the Department of Transportation road improvements. That was you've probably seen it on Route 9. We've also done most of the tree cutting for the project. The only ones we haven't cut are some of the Cocos area beyond the Cocos parcel, which is already disturbed, but there's a little bit to the west of that. That's part of the Coco redevelopment area. If we're not able to cut those trees now, we lose a year in being able to complete the tree cutting and open. So
When does the window open up again for?
October.
October.
October
October.
31st.
So
Yeah.
So I just want to apologize.
How many trees are you planning on cutting down, do you know?
Oh, excuse me?
Do you know about how
Number
many
of trees.
trees that you'll be cutting?
1.9 acres.
How many trees?
We haven't counted the trees,
Okay.
but
Lou must know.
1.9 acres.
So, 1.9 acres, that's not that much.
It's essential aspects of the project that if we're not able to cut it, yes, it'll take us a couple of weeks to cut it.
You think so?
By hand,
And doing that for exercise?
partially. No,
I just finished
It's-
shoveling snow, so I can't cut any trees for a little while.
part of what we conditioned with the planning board is that we would fell these by hand, so there wouldn't be any ground disturbance in this area until the actual site plans are signed.
Okay, what about the guy that comes in, clips them, grabs them, and moves them away? The machine?
They will not be able to use the machine in these areas. Similar to, they had approval for tree felling initially as part of their original approval. If you recall, there were some trees down along the Route 9 corridor. That was a similar approval where they were only allowed to go in there with a chainsaw and cut them once a limit of disturbance was delineated. The gentleman came with his machine afterwards, after we had our approvals, and all the erosion and sediment control measures were in place. And they took the trees and then they chipped them and they used them to stabilize the site. We're not going that far right now. We're just looking for the ability to fell the trees.
So how long
I
will
think-
trees be down for? I mean, we see this in a lot of occasions where people are trying to beat,
Yeah,
this, and you see it,
the
the trees just fell there for a while.
Yeah, the goal would probably be, how soon can the planning board give an approval? is one of the questions, but I mean, I'd say maybe 60 days at the most.
30 days. What do you say, Lou?
He's saying 30 days.
Yeah.
So you can cut them and you want to leave them?
Yes.
There for they have to be left there for?
Yeah, we're not looking to do any disturbance. And I may be conservative. I'm usually a conservative guy.
And the
I'm an
disturbance
engineer.
would be the larger machine coming in,
And we wouldn't do that until we have our site plan signed.
so you're not going to do anything with the stumps?
No, the stumps would be cut. The board requested that they be left at 7 inches above grade.
7 inches?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all goes to, well, we'll have conditional site plan approval and we have a proposed SWIP. It still takes a couple of weeks to get the final SWIP and health department. So that will, and that's part of the conditions of the site plan. and that will occur after the window closes, the Indiana window. So the planning board allowed us previously to do the same thing, cut limited trees, make sure that we're not disturbing any of the ground until the final SWIP is adopted.
It's not, just for your own reference, it's
you're
not
just-
uncommon.
You're just cutting them,
Yes,
dropping them, and leaving them.
leaving them until the plans are approved and we could
Sounds
visit.
pretty easy. When do you want me to do it?
That's the.
Are you cheap?
Okay, well, that's the urgency. So let me just quickly go through, because you do want to get to the variances, I assume. So here's just an overview. Go back for a second, please. Just an overview of the project. Again, it's a project that is really tried to work with the landscape, work with the area, work with the architecture. It's Gensler Architects are really one of the world renowned, and try to work with the landscape and nature, and we're doing significant amount of reforestation and landscaping and trees, and obviously it has a culinary theme, being that it's in conjunction with and CIA, partnering with CIA on a lot of the issues.
Excellent.
Go, yeah.
And Mike, maybe just explain a little bit those pictures before, for the new board members. We've seen all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through and show larger
great,
pictures
thanks,
of
The
some of the
actual on-site.
individual
Perfect, okay,
buildings
go
and
ahead.
renderings. So this is the site plan. You can see the top is pointing north towards the river. That is the area where you have a combination of the so-called hotel keys, called the Hearth, the restaurants. Those are rental villas. The thing that Chris had just pointed at, that's the spa in the middle right there. And then there are cabins to the right in there, and then tree houses, and I'll show you some of the renderings of those. As you work your way down, that's the event barn and the lawn. And then as you come down, you have the villas. The villas this is all ground lease to CIA, from the CIA. The villas will be leasehold interests that people will purchase, provided they cannot be primary residents to conform with the town zoning, and they must be placed mandatorily into the rental program when not occupied, and they also must belong to the resort, and they will pay resort fees. They will also be governed by a declaration which limits the amount of disturbance to any of the areas beyond the footprints of the villas, which will all be managed by one and only the resort operator. One and only, for those of you that are not aware, is a world-renowned brand. They have another, they're building in Montana in the United States, but they have select destinations around the world. They came in after we received the full approvals for this project, including before you're board with a number of the variances that Chris is going to describe.
Well,
To the right, you'll see that is the Cocos, what we call the Cocos area. That is, as you all probably know better than I, was an abandoned restaurant that has been vacant for many years. It was something originally that the project did not include. As I mentioned before, when One and Only came in, they said, we're willing to work with you and be part of the redevelopment of that. The front is the retail. The building behind is the back of the house operations for the resort. That there was a lot of back of the house operations, security, offices, other uses throughout the site, which is all now going to be centered and focused in that building. As you move to the north, or to the west, I should say, that's the teaching kitchens for the CIA, and that's a surface parking lot that you see there. That parking lot will be valet parking only, and service what they call the hotel unit, the amenities that in that area. The leasehold villas will all have their own parking. The valet parking replaces what was going to be stacked parking, approved stacked parking, that no one really liked. I'm not talking about a parking structure, but the type of stacked parking you see in urban areas. And that was originally in that area where Chris is pointing towards. And it was used because of the limited space on the area. That surface parking is replacing that stacked parking.
How many spots there, Mike? You think?
200,
About 230.
230.
I do have a question on that, if that's.
Yeah.
I brought it up during my last town board meeting, and it had something to do with, even though there's no variances here in the town, will you use that or anticipate any use of it being commuter parking at some point in time, with people not having to go all the way down to Poughkeepsie, or is it going to be just for the property?
Yeah, it's all, I mean, planning board, we were working diligently with them not to overpark the site and not to underpark the site. And that was the number that people felt with shared parking between various uses and customers and so this is a constrained site for those of you. So you see the big green in the middle. That's the Winnicke Conservation Easement. That's run by or operated by the Winnicke Conservancy. Winnicke Conservancy, we've worked very closely with. Those trails that you see are all trails that will be available to the resort users, that will connect to trails at the FDR. There's also going to be a connection to the CIA that you can continue to walk through for the first time that will connect it. But we can do no development within those trails, but we will maintain those trails and upgrade them with the Winnicke participation. They were ecstatic that someone's going to activate that area because it's a beautiful area for, again, passive trail walking. We also have worked very closely with Scenic Hudson. Scenic Hudson has an easement all along there. Scenic Hudson has been a collaborator on the project and written letters of support for the project and the like. We've also, as you move to the north, have worked very closely with the FDR and the Federal Department of Interior and management to ensure that none of our structures can be seen or in the view shed of the FDR. And they're very happy with the project and have written letters of support and are happy that we're connecting our trails to their trails. We also have a number of pre-contact areas, archaeological, that we've dug and investigated and have worked very closely with SHPO. So those are non-disturbance areas throughout the site. So that is something that we worked closely with SHPO and with the state on and have their full approvals for. Remember, all of that has already been approved. The changes in the amended site plan that we have, that's before you and before the board, and that was just issued, the amended negative deck, was we swapped the position of the event barn, which is now, used to be there, and we moved it to show where the event barn's been moved to, there. And then the spa, where we switched from where the event barn was. The event barn and spa switched. And that is the location of most of the variances that you've already approved, and in many instances, probably reduced variance in those areas as described in our papers. The other modification, as I mentioned, is what we're calling the COCO's area, which is the already disturbed and leveled COCO site. And then the tree cutting, which will occur behind that, is where we're doing some of that tree cutting within that time window, and that'll be the back of the house and the parking. So then you've got the stream corridors, which, again, we've tried to stay out of the setbacks in those, the stream corridor. With the cocoa development, we've stayed out of all the wetland, no new encroachment in any of the wetlands. We have a very minor Army Corps wetland that we received approval for, and we haven't increased that at all. And we've worked with the DEC that we are grandfathered and not in the new freshwater wetland regulations, because this is an amended project. So that's the site plan. For those of you that, I think Scott, you're probably the only one who hasn't, yeah, I think Greg, you probably saw it
Yes.
at the town board. But that's, so let me go through just a couple of the renderings, just to give you a sense of feel for, and we can go through that. We can pass that. Okay, so this is the Hearth building, where I mentioned, that's the, the restaurants and some of the hotel keys and the reception areas and so forth. You can see the red markings where the view sheds are in those. This is the wellness spa. Again, this will be facing the west to towards the Hudson River. That's where the Scenic Hudson conservation easement is. And we've worked closely with them on coloring of the buildings, materials of the buildings, preservation of the tree lines, and we had to do. If you had a chance to look at the negative declaration, we did visuals of night lights on the Hudson River. We did all the habitat assessments, all the bat assessments, all in for this and for the amended plan. We did studies for all the amended plan.
There's a considerable piece of property between you and the river.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's very much. This is the.
That's just the back of the spa.
The back of the spa.
Yeah, I'll get to the next one.
And then some of that. This is the barn renderings.
The event barn.
The event barn. Event barn is essentially a ballroom, and with approximately 200 seats, I believe.
Would they have weddings there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not yet, but they hope to.
Who, just people that are leasing?
No,
Or
no, public.
public?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the all those units, everything I've just shown, everything west, in the western part, is 100% resort rental, and the leasing are, as I said before, have to all go into the rental program when not occupied.
On the leasing, the owners can be there, 5 months?
They could be there 5 months, but there's very strict, and it's written into your zoning. They cannot be a primary residence as defined by the IRS. The IRS has defined that primary residence can't be where you spend most of your time.
Uh-huh.
And
is there any calendar timeframe where they?
No, there's no specific.
Anything they want?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they could be there for the Christmas holiday? Or
They can, they
if they
can't.
like this kind of snow and stuff,
Correct.
they could come up?
Yeah. Hilltop amenity, it's right in the middle. That will just be another amenity and destination, maybe some distillery, hearth and stuff. Here are the cabins. Again, these are all on the western portion. Now you're starting to see some of the leasehold villas. There's 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom. No school children. And we reached an agreement, even with no school children, we reached an agreement with the school district to do some scholarship programs
So there's
and
no-
some training programs
There's no
and the
playgrounds.
like.
Do they face the river?
There is
Can
a
they-
playground.
Will there be river view?
Playgrounds?
There are
River-
playgrounds.
River views, will there be?
I don't think from there, Riverviews.
From the backs of the LH4s, you will get a glimpse of the river. Because it
Okay.
sits higher than the Winnicke, you overlook the Winnicke Land Trust and you
Yeah.
can see the river behind that.
Okay, let's keep going.
Few of these is what
Yeah.
Lou is referring to. So to answer your question about a playground area, it's right here.
Since you said no kids, but I'm sure.
For
I know you.
Residents.
No,
Yeah.
for the leasehold villas cannot have children living there and going to the schools.
People that
I'm
come to the
I'm
ho-
sorry, it's not an adult villa.
People that come to the hotel, there's a play zone for their kids.
I misspoke.
Okay, gotcha.
They have it for different age groups there
Okay.
as well.
Got it.
Keep going. All right. Okay, so here's Coco's. There's the front of Coco's.
Got a bigger picture?
I think
Not as colorful as that, no?
what do you mean? I'm sorry.
When you, these guys, could you blow those up outside of this?
Oh, blow it
Right,
up.
those four joining pictures on the side there and at the bottom,
Yeah.
below those.
And then talk about them.
Yes.
Okay, good.
There we go.
There you go.
Nice.
That's the retail aspect of Coco's.
Now that Route 9 right
That's
there?
the route.
That's Route 9,
Where'd that tree come from? On the,
On the
on
other
the
side,
right-hand
yes.
side?
the other side.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not that particular kind.
We're going to plant that tree. I don't know,
The Route 9 doesn't look nearly wide enough, that's all. But- Now, is there benches there or anything, or a sidewalk?
Yeah, there is a sidewalk.
Behind
Behind
the
this.
loose laid stone wall.
Ah,
So it replicates what's on the Sake Brewery on
yep,
our
yep,
side.
yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see here
And the-
clearly, but this is where the sidewalk kind of comes back.
Back out to Route 9 where the existing ADA accessible walkway is.
We're also building, the planning board asked us to build some sidewalks south, even though we're not going all the way to the St. Andrews. They wanted another 100-plus feet along this is all in the CB district. That's why there's no variances required for the Cocos. As you know, in the St. Andrews, you have the 150-foot setback to Route 9. The CB district, which is Cocos is in, has a 10-foot setback. This is the looking north elevation. This will be the back, that's the back of the house that we showed. And this is from the parking lot in the back. The planning board wanted the parking in the back. They were very.
Excuse me, sorry, is someone's phone ringing?
Not mine.
Someone does.
It's like white noise, right?
The ringers.
It's like a rain. So all the parking is in the back, and as you could see, and that's your view coming down
Okay.
Route 9.
Is the beverage barn right there.
Yeah, and that's what you'll see at the back of the house.
Yeah.
The ice machine.
We were kind of hoping maybe you'd have some explosives go off or something, and that whole area is,
Well, that's right where the explosive guy sets up for the 4th of July. and
Exactly right.
He's going to be very disappointed.
And the
Yes,
Christmas trees.
he has another spot.
And the Christmas trees.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do a rendering of it being exploded and and see how that looks.
Oh, wow.
All right, that's going to be the photo that Chris is going to describe. That's probably the only new quote-unquote variance that different than some of the other ones. The only new location of the variance versus the ones you did before. That's a security fence that, even though it comes up close to 6 feet at one point to the property line, there's still there's still natural screening in front of the between the property line and Route 9.
That's the emergency exit?
And that's the
Yeah,
emergency
Yeah,
exit.
okay.
This portion was always proposed that you're seeing here.
That's down the hill from the.
Yeah, it's
traffic.
correct.
Correct. All right, so that's, I just wanted to give you all, remind you, or, you know,
And you
Scott,
have
for
no
your sake.
rendering of the pickleball courts?
I'm sorry.
The pickleball court will be right there. They will also be in the CB district. They'll be all lights down. They'll be screened with tall, what do you call them?
Cedars.
Evergreens, caramel trees.
So the fixtures will be
How
set
many
up,
courts will there be?
2
Will
of
they-
each.
Will there be two
Two padel
Tennis?
and
as well?
two
Pickleball.
pickleball.
Just pickleball only, no tennis?
No
No
tennis. They decided. Yeah, pickleball has taken over tennis. Pickleball has taken over my basketball courts. Pickleball has taken over, but my wife plays now, so I can't complain.
I'm not sure where I heard this from. I really wish I could put it to a point in time, but is there any discussion or possibility of doing a quick way or a cutback from the back of there to go behind into the Stop
Oh,
and Shop
yes,
Plaza?
there was a lot of discussion, and it's built into the project, and it's in the neg deck. So, in 2011, they did that too. There's a lot of issues involved as to who pays for what, how the liability and so forth. What the planning board asked us to do, and we agreed to, is we developed it, and we developed a plan that shows how we can connect
Okay.
at a such time that whatever we're developing will not interfere with that connection. It would go around the building and come to that, we can move the compactor and stub it out and make that connection at a future time.
Could you put a tractor trailer through there?
Yeah, oh yeah, we studied all,
And the building.
not through that connection.
Because we had some things that we approved in Hyde Park, and they weren't going to have tractor trailers, and now the tractor trailers
Yeah, we're,
stop traffic on 9G for 10 or 15 minutes trying to back in,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
All-
We have the turning radii within the parking lot for the tractor trailers.
Excellent.
yeah,
And the-
all of
And the
that.
pathway, all the way across?
Correct.
And all of that was studied by
Yeah, that's good.
planning board and their consultants and with the fire department, access and alike. So that's the best we were able to do with 2.5 years of planning board consultation. We made a good team. She's sitting right there. Integral part of that team. So, wanted to turn over to Chris now, who can just quickly go over the variances, remind you, like I said before, we had gone through it with you in October and November, and it's in there, but for Scott's sake, who hasn't seen it, and maybe, Greg, I don't think you saw the variances, because I don't think I presented those to the town board.
So I thought what I would do to initiate the presentation is give you an overview of what you previously approved for the zoning variances, and then give an overview of the new variances being sought and how some of them overlap with the previously approved. So, starting with the previously approved variances that are still looking to be reaffirmed from our last submittal. We do have this variance for an encroachment within the 100-foot setback of the stream corridor, which would allow us to facilitate the installation of the pedestrian bridge over the Marici Kill Creek. There are no changes to what the board previously approved in that area, and we're just looking for that to be reaffirmed.
And that's a temporary one, right? Where you're going to do some work and then you don't need it anymore?
Yeah, it's used for the purposes of, there's some regrading to allow the pedestrian bridge to be put in place and the two foundations on either side. We've also gotten the approval from the Army Corps and the DEC for those permits, and there's no changes to those permits either.
I just want to clarify, when you say you want the variance to be reaffirmed, are you reapplying, are you renewing that?
No,
No.
we're
Okay.
not.
No, I
Okay,
just-
I just want to make sure you're not running into any deadlines or anything.
You're
like
right.
that.
No, we're just,
Thank you.
we're looking for the variance to stay in place. Similarly speaking, here's a variance that you had granted, once again, for an encroachment within the stream corridor area, and that was to facilitate the construction of the emergency access and the drainage pipe that previously went through it. We replaced the drainage pipe at the DOT's request. That's what also prompted the encroachment. This work has actually been completed, just to kind of give you an overview. As we continue to work our way north on previous variances, we did have this variance here for the parking, which was within the 150-foot setback area. One of the reasons why the board had given this before is as you're approaching going southbound along Route 9, the elevation climbs about 40 feet and then drops down, so you don't see any of the work that's proposed behind here. And this actually drops down probably about 50 or 60 feet to the point where that grading was previously approved. As we work our way over here, the board previously granted a setback of 35 feet to what was the pool in the 100-foot setback zone there. Additionally, the board, if you recall, granted a setback for an encroachment within the stream corridor. We talked about this particular area about you allowed us to do some grading previously to minimize the height of the wall that was adjoining the pool. So those were the previous ones that you were granted. As it relates to the ones here at the event barn area now, we're really looking to obtain new variances for slightly modified, some tweaks that we've made. Instead of the building setback being about 35 feet off of the property line here, we're now looking for an 85-foot setback. So the structure itself's been pushed back further, the actual building. So it's a reduction in what was previously requested. We're also looking for a setback for potential retaining wall. And we're being conservative and we're asking for that because what we're trying to do, as Michael alluded to earlier, is we're introducing these trailways here, and the retaining wall gives us the flexibility of preserving that trailway. We're not sure if it's going to be a physical retaining wall where it's vertically standing up 5 feet or 6 feet. We're looking at placing some boulders and then terracing them, but we're in that design stage now, but we want to have the flexibility to go one way or the other. And associated with that, as you gave us before, was the disturbance within the stream corridor area to allow this grading to take place. This grading facilitates the event barn area outside. It also allows us for the construction of this trailway to connect to the adjoining properties. The last variance that we're
Sorry, just when you're talking about the event barn
Yes.
deck, is that a raised deck? Is that at grade?
That's a raised deck.
Okay.
And that is 95 feet from the property line. I'm sorry, 85 feet from the property line.
You said that was requested, not approved, even though it was a reduction?
Yes. We've reduced it from what it was previously. It was, it had a 35-foot setback or 36-foot setback. Now we're going to be 85.
We
That
had
was
an
a
approved
request.
one before.
We had an approved one. This is what
Now
we're
we're-
requesting now.
Yeah,
just
change
wanted to
it.
clarify.
Correct.
It was previously approved, not requested. We're requesting the reduction tonight.
Correct.
And because it's also a different structure,
Yep.
different.
Where 100 feet is required. The new variance that one of the new variances that we are seeking is for the setback along the frontage of Route 9. This red line here that you see is an outline of a security fence. That is one of the guidelines set forth by the operator. And we've strategically tried to place this fence. One, we've placed the fence in this particular area so it's outside of the, as Michael talked about earlier, the archaeologically sensitive area. And we're also trying to place the fence so it rides the ridge line as opposed to placing it along the steep sections of the site. What we do run into here is we have an encroachment where we're about 10 feet from the right-of-way line. That's the DOT property. This is actually 80 feet from the edge of pavement. So this area in between here is a wooded buffer that goes up in elevation. Now, I don't know if you remember, but when we came before you in October, you asked us, can you please flag this out there? And so we went out there and we have flags out there that were set at 6 feet high. You couldn't see it in October, you couldn't see it in November.
Not quite the same as a fence, though.
Well, but in all due respect, we used fluorescent orange that'll stick out more than an earth tone color like a green or a black. And we drove by there again today, and the only way you're actually seeing this when you're driving there, which most drivers won't do, is lift your head up at about a 75-degree angle as you're driving and put your head against the glass. That's the only way you're going to see that.
Or
because
coming
of
up
how
the hill
high
from
it
the other
is.
side, you can see it.
I'm sorry?
Coming up the hill from the other side, it's very visible. But could you answer me a question?
Sure.
What advantage is it to bring it this way instead of putting it over the hill where it wouldn't even be visible?
Yeah, I think part of that is the installation process. You've got a lot of rock that's exposed on those slopes, and
I would imagine the rock would be exposed most at the ridge.
yes, but you have a flatter area there, which eases in the installation when you're trying to install something on a 2-on-1 slope or a 3-on-1 slope. It's much more difficult to work on a slope than it is on a flatter area, so it allows them to traverse.
That's how things are made, when they're in the furnace and fired, and it's hard to make. That's a good job.
Yeah. Well, the other concern with doing something of that nature is it's going to create more ground disturbance in that particular sense, because you've got to have staging areas to core in order to put in posts. We really felt that this was the most would create the least amount of disturbance for the installation as you have a
Well,
ridge
I
line.
can appreciate that, but I don't want to look at the fence.
Well,
I go down by Mariston when they put up a nice stone wall, and then they put the fence in front of it. It's crazy. We don't have security fences in Hyde Park anyway, do we? You know any security fences any place in Hyde Park? Besides junkyards or,
I was looking at that Maris one coming up today, but.
when it's raining, it actually
Yeah.
reflects the light. It's dangerous.
But the Maris one, I mean, we're
You're back much
on
further.
leaf on, you don't
Yeah,
see
yeah,
it. Leaf off, we're behind a lot of tree
Maris
trunks.
is in very close proximity to Route 9.
Right.
And it's.
But a fence, again,
Yeah.
it's what I grew up with. Is there, there aren't fences. There's a fence you put up to keep your dog in the backyard or your kids in the backyard. We don't do security fences. Roosevelt doesn't have them, Vanderbilt doesn't have them, you know, I mean, it's, they're big estates.
They felt with with those residents and villas right there and, coming, they felt very strongly and.
I feel strongly that it goes over the other side of the ridge.
We try to.
Chris, what's the material of the fences?
It's this portion of the fence over here is an aluminum fence with pickets on it that comes up and over here where it's exposed, where you can actually see it from Route 9.
Yeah.
Where it's hidden back by the vegetation, it turns to a chain link, a black chain link fence.
Yeah.
There was an initial request for a green chain link fence. That was then asked to change to a black chain link fence. And then when it comes back out along Route 9 again, it comes to an aluminum fence again. And then it ties back in to,
Do you have a picture of the aluminum fence?
yes, just so you're aware, when it ties back in into the site, the fence stops and we're utilizing the existing fence around the courts throughout, and then it comes back to the aluminum fence. So let me go to,
And
I mean,
the courts are not under the variance because they're in the CB zone. just for-
If you were to move it back, I understand that it would reduce the amount of area that people could walk in easily. I do understand that, but they got lots to walk on with the Winnicky part.
here is the aluminum fence.
And that's at the emergency exit?
That'll be at the emergency entranceway, and then at the entryway to the site.
Well, emergency kind of makes sense that you don't want people using it, so you got to put a gate up.
Yeah, and as I indicated earlier, that we did have that on the previous approval. Thought we have the chain link here. There it is over here. There's the chain link there. And you know, as I said, you know, this is awfully difficult to see this particular fence in this area at the elevation that it's at.
It'd be even harder to see if it was over the ridge.
You are correct. But once again, I go back to trying to create less disturbance on those slopes.
They'll have plenty of time to grow back.
What's the total distance of the chain link?
Good question.
Is it everything but the entry?
I'd say
Or emergency exit?
it goes from here to here, so let me take out my scale.
180, isn't that about the sidewalk? This,
It's longer.
it's more than the sidewalk.
40, 240.
It's a long way.
So that's 220, it's 46. It's probably about 1,400 feet. That meanders.
Save a few bucks by straightening it out, maybe.
I'm sorry? I didn't hear your comment.
I'm
I'm
only
sorry.
kidding. You could save a few bucks by straightening it out. Material, anyway.
Well, yeah, but once again, the labor would go up dramatically as you're trying to, build on the slope. I mean, it's kind of like when you're siting a house or something, you try to look at a flat area as opposed to a really steep slope because of the cost of the construction. And
Possible though, correct?
what's that?
Possible though, correct?
Is it
I
possible?
mean, the terrain, yeah.
Well, it is possible, but at the same time, you're trying to preserve the trees that are in a particular area that have grown up on the slope. You do have.
I'm sorry, excuse me, go ahead.
You're also trying to limit your ability to create landings in order to work. I mean, you're really disturbing that natural state in that area. This gives you the ability to work around some of the trees on a slope of this nature. I mean, the flatter area is a little bit more forgiving and gives you the ability to weave in between the trees. You don't have that, and the reality is, you're talking about bringing equipment up there that you really don't necessarily need to bring equipment. Besides an auger and individuals walking up there, they can do that. If you start putting something on the steeper portions of the slope, you've got to get into machines in order to perform that work.
You would use an auger then, right, on a small machine?
No, I don't think you would, in all honesty, and I'm not a contractor, but I wouldn't think.
By the way, I've used an auger in the land around here.
Yeah.
It isn't easy.
Yeah, no, well, that's the point I'm making, is I think when you're on a steep slope like that, you've got to bring in a machine to perform that work, because you as an individual can't be stable in that situation when you're trying to hold yourself on a steep slope like that. It's not safe, and that's why they would bring in an auger. But when you bring in an auger or something like that, or a machine, you have to have a safe landing for that machine so it doesn't tip over either. So that's why I get into the discussion of you're going to be having some land disturbances take place.
Do you currently anticipate having to remove any trees with the fencing as proposed?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Do you anticipate having to remove any trees to install the fencing as proposed?
No, this was walked by the architect, and they can weave the fence around the trees, and that was one of the desires of this particular layout here.
Want to go to the next one?
Sure.
That's it?
Do we want to? Yeah.
No, that's it. Those are all,
That's the
oh,
last
there's,
Oh,
yes,
there's-
there's the parking lot.
The parking lot.
So are we talking about that then?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wasn't exactly sure about that one. So the town code requires that you have a minimum of 15% landscaping within your parking lot area. We took a real close look at this particular parking lot and where it's situated. It's to the west of a building, the Coco's in the back of house, which provides some screening along Route 9. We have a fence that's coming around here that further provides screening when you're going southbound on Route 9. When we incorporated the actual landscaping area into this, we were encroaching within the 100-foot setback area to the stream corridor and DEC wetland. The other thing that we were doing was we were limiting the ability to screen the valet parking area along the frontage of the access drive as you're approaching, whether it's the Hearth or the event barn. So we looked at this opportunity as, if we condense the parking, it afforded us the opportunity to provide a robust landscaping depth along the frontage here, which would completely screen this parking from the guests and patrons that come in the main entryway. At the same time, this is screened by the natural vegetation in the rear of it. Furthermore, to reduce the heat island effect associated with asphalt, we've used a grayish color, which will reduce the temperature of the pavement by about 30 degrees. So it's a combination of, it's a product that when they're actually creating the asphalt at the plant, they got to introduce a color mixture to it. So instead of painting it on, we have it introduced throughout the entire aggregate, so that from a maintenance standpoint, it requires less maintenance, and it's going to last longer, and it's going to work its way through the entire layer
It won't wear
of
off.
asphalt, and it won't wear off. And what does wear off, you've got it intermixed throughout the entire depth, both your top course and your binder course. So we think from that perspective, although the code does require it, and it's typically required where you have public parking, as Michael alluded to earlier, this is going to be valet parking, so we're not going to have a lot of members of the public coming in here. But at the same time, we're reducing the heat island effect. We're providing the screening associated with it. And we're pretty fortunate that in this particular area, the underlying soils are sand and gravel. So everything we're capturing in this area, we're running through a pre-treatment device, and we're infiltrating all the runoff into the ground.
The planning board also asked us, we discussed, we're planting canopy trees around to provide additional canopy effect. We're also looking at, we committed to the planning board to look at the possibility of solar canopies over it, to see if that's feasible. just to see if that's something that could be done, and that'll be probably written into our site plan conditions. So,
Will people, long-term, want their cars out of the sun altogether? Like, do they want a garage? In other words, they're coming up for 5 months, and they're only going to use the cars.
Oh, so the leasehold villas, for example,
Yeah.
these individuals have garages at their home.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
This
They're
is,
just hotel guests or guests visiting for the restaurant or the spa.
Spa or the event barn.
Okay. So it's kind of, it's public then, no?
No, it's only valet.
It's valet.
The rules at the resort will be, you won't be able to self-park, everything will be valet. You'll either pull up to the barn or the spa, and there'll be valets waiting to take your car away.
But once you valet, you're there. I mean, in other words, I could go up, valet park, and go to the spa
Correct.
Correct.
if I cash in all my retirement.
and probably only half an hour. So I won't get the full 60 minutes.
Well, it depends. You're interested in cutting some trees earlier, so maybe we can make a deal.
That's true.
So is that the end of your presentation,
That's the
Chris?
end of the presentation.
Questions?
Is there any way you can make one of those 4 courts a tennis court as well? And put the lines in there so they can play, the nets are pretty much the same. It's tough that people are hating on tennis now.
I'm with you.
On pickleball soon.
I know, absolutely. That's why, have at least one tennis court there.
We originally had tennis courts.
Or
And
did you?
originally, one only came in and said, pickleball, and all that.
At least have one. I think at the end, that would be, but,
Like I said,
Sorry, Gregory.
I want basketball
Not happening.
courts, but
so do I, but
they
I know
denied
they're
me
passé now.
already.
Yeah, basketball
I thought I
court.
had some influence.
Yeah.
That it?
Yes.
No other questions? You good, Scott?
I think our only holdup is the fence,
Yeah. Well,
really.
we'll have an
It could be
opportunity.
avoided, that's kind of what I'm looking at. It
Yeah.
definitely could be avoided. So, not sure how we want to proceed on that.
Now that, just to make sure the fence, what we're possibly asking, is that it goes behind so it can't be seen from the roadway and can only be seen from inside the property as opposed to it.
Look, I'll defer to Chris. I mean, he made the pitch. I guess the only thing I would say is, based on all the simulations we've done and everything, it's really not that, it doesn't quote-unquote change the character. You really can't see it very well. Leaf vine, you'll see it, you won't see it at all.
Show
Not
me a
leaf
good
vine. Go ahead.
I'm sorry,
Scott,
show me a
sorry.
good-looking fence after 5 years. Chain link.
I mean, I know,
Scott,
I know you're,
And I don't know if we have this jurisdiction, but I think that's the concern.
No, the fence is, it went through planning board vetting, but it's as part of your variance, your
Right.
concern is legit. This is going to be the front door of our development. This is a pretty high-end development. The last thing they're going to want is a crummy-looking fence that's deteriorating, and it's a practical issue. They're going to maintain it, and town can write into their site plan conditions also that they monitor it, and if they'll see if there's deterioration. But like I said, for the demographic they're going after, they're not going to want a fence that people drive by and this thing is. Plus, again, you just don't see it. We did the simulations. you just don't see.
Go ahead, finish.
What is the average setback for the fence? I know it's 10 feet at the closest point, but overall, like, about how far will you be maintaining that setback?
We haven't done an average,
But you could
but I could tell you at a minimum,
Yes.
it's 80 feet. This is 80 feet. I mean, and when I say setback, I mean, you got to remember that there was a taken here, so it wouldn't have been as bad if there wasn't a taken in the past of the property. So we would have been an 80-foot setback.
Those are ifs.
But I understand, but I'm just,
Yeah.
as everybody can see here, there is a setback.
And they own it.
Yeah, they own it, the DOT
Yeah.
owns it, correct.
I'm going to explain to Scott that basically we're asked to vote on this. So there are concerns by some of the members in terms of the fencing. So basically, everyone has the ability to vote on it, yes or no. So it's going to come up.
I was going to just say that the first part, I mean, we approved that, and it was pretty much off the main road. You wouldn't see it. It would kind of fit in. As we added this new part, it becomes very much in our face kind of thing. It's a beautiful building, but it's right out there. I mean, and if you went through Hyde Park, you probably would find an average setback of, I don't know, if you don't count Roosevelt's and Vanderbilt's and all that, you still have an average setback of 60, 70 feet. So it is out in your face, and then the fence is too. And I think putting the fence back, or maybe even part of it, like from the archaeological
Site? This is all the archaeological site here.
back towards the emergency exit. I mean, from there, from the archaeological up, it looks pretty much at a,
Let me see something here.
what's the distance there?
Let me just, this is So this is the slopes that we're talking about, that we're working with. So pushing this back, these are,
Sorry, can you blow that up a little further?
sure. These are the slopes that, these are 1.5 on 1 to 2 on 1 slopes. These are excessively steep. And this is what I was talking about earlier, as it's a little bit more forgiving to put something along a flat area that we can weave in between trees. You don't have that ability to weave in between trees when you're on a slope of that nature. You actually have to, you will have to cut some trees down in here. You will have to,
But that's on the other side of the ridge.
but you're, not necessarily on the other side of the
Oh.
ridge. You gotta remember, these trees are 50, 60 feet in height. So when you have an elevation difference where you're dropping 10 feet on this side, you're gonna see that those trees are missing because, they're 50 or 60 feet in height. So they're gonna be cut down now, and you're gonna see this kind of,
What is the line that goes up, all the way up by the, are those contours?
these are contours.
No, further up, 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 up. What's that line right there?
Right here?
Yep.
This is the limit of disturbance line
For the development.
that was set for the plan.
Wouldn't that be a great place for that fence?
No, not really, because you'd want to keep, from a security standpoint, you'd want the ability to keep individuals or anybody a greater distance from
Who
the
do you want to
property.
keep away? I mean, nobody stops their car on Route 9 or walks up through there, except for the culinary kids.
Well, I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
I can't say that. I mean, I can tell you that, just from our experience out here to date with some of this work that took place, there's graffiti taking place right at this entryway over here. And I can't imagine the culinary kids walking up through there's no path here. It comes off of the main entryway. So somebody's going down there. I don't suspect it's the culinary kids, but there is graffiti work that's been done here in this close proximity to the campus.
Yeah.
So, and as Michael alluded to earlier, this is kind of, one and only they are a high-end resort. They're focused on their security. They like to keep everything at a distance. They felt that this was the best line of installation for security. The architect walked this area.
I'd be happy to walk it with you.
Yeah.
You want to walk? It's fine with me.
Yeah, you can walk it now. It's got anywhere from 18 to 20 inches of snow up there, but I'd be happy to walk it with you.
It'll melt in a week or two.
If we don't get that storm on Sunday.
I would like to see it, and I am going to take a greater look at it going up and down 9 there. So I'm going to see if I can see that flag and how it...
So just so you know, the flag I'm talking about, there are some other flags that are there. The flag I'm talking about is there's a concrete monument that sticks out right near it.
Will they do that? Will they bifurcate?
This is, and we have set that flag at 6 feet above grade there. We've had that set since October.
I want to talk to the board for a second.
Sure.
Do you think you have enough information to vote tonight? Either way. April?
I don't know, I think there's significant changes, and I feel that I'd be irresponsible if I didn't go and look.
The majority wants to vote. Okay. I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing?
Second, please.
Second? Yes. Folks?
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
It's passed. So we do have a resolution. And the resolution is breaking each of the variances down in specifics. And we're going to vote on each variance as opposed to the totality of the variances. Okay? This way, there is greater flexibility for the board to speak to what their concerns are. Okay? So this is a resolution to grant 5 area variances, CIA, NRI, Hyde Park. Date January 28th, 2026, Resolution 25-17Z. Whereas the applicant NRI Hyde Park LLC, with the consent and approval of owner Culinary Institute of America, has submitted an application for area variances for the continued construction of a lodging facility, the project, at property located 1995-2066 Campus Road and 3957 Albany Post Road, the Coco's Lot in Hyde Park, New York, identified as tax parcels number 6063-02, 889857, and 6064-04, 965164 in the St. Andrews District and Corridor Business District, the site. Whereas on February 28th, the Zoning Board of Appeals granted 5 area variances for the project, and whereas limited construction commenced on the project site, including grading, tree cutting, various traffic improvements, on-site utility and drainage work, and whereas the applicant has applied to amend the approved site for the lodging facility to include additional lodging units, the relocation and modification of certain buildings, parking, recreation court, additional development of Coco's Lot, which will include new retail, service, and back-of-house operation, associated parking, the amended project. And whereas the amended project is depicted on civil plan set entitled Site Plan Hotel Villas at Culinary Institute of America, prepared by Labella Associates, dated September 29, 2025, last revised December 15, 2025, an architectural plan set prepared by Gensler Architects dated September 25th, 2025, last revised December 15th, 2025. Whereas the applicant seeks the following area variances related to the amended project, requested variances. 1, to allow a setback of 73 feet where 100 feet is required in the Marachite Kill Stream Corridor Buffer pursuant to Section 108-4.3G2A for grading work and the construction of a retaining wall. 2, to allow a setback of 10 feet at the closest point where 150 feet is required pursuant to Section 108-5.13C9A for the construction of a security fence. Number 3, to allow zero curb planting islands or beds within an off-street parking area where pursuant to Section 108-4.55B, 2J, curb planting islands or beds equal to 15% of the total square footage of all parking stalls and aisles is required. 4, to allow a 12-foot setback from the north boundary of the zoning district where 100 feet is required pursuant to Section 108-5.13C9C relating to the construction of a retaining wall. And 5, to allow an 85-foot setback from the north boundary of the zoning district where 100 feet is required to construct an event barn deck. Whereas, now therefore be it resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals makes the following findings in accordance with Section 267-B of the Town Law and Hyde Park Zoning Law, Section 108-33.6, B2, regarding the requested variances. And I'm going to read through the factors as it applies to the requested variances. Number 1, the requested variances will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. Requested variance number 1, applicant has reduced the proposed intrusion into the stream corridor buffered by 2 feet for the amended project. The grading work and retaining wall will be internal to the site and will not be visible from neighboring properties. Requested variance number 2, although the security fence will be as close as 10 feet to the property line as its closest point, the majority of the fence line will set back further and will be effectively screened by the dense tree line on the site. Requested number 3, variance. The valet surface parking lot will be set back behind new building proposed for the Coco's lot, entirely out of view from the road, and will be heavily screened internally on the site, and as such will not be visible from nearby properties, nor will it otherwise affect the character of the neighborhood. Requested variance number 4. Although the retaining wall is proposed to be set back 12 feet from the north boundary of the zoning district, the wall will be internal to the site and will not be visible from nearby properties, nor will it otherwise affect the character of the neighborhood. Requested variance number 5. The event barn deck will be constructed internally to the property and will not be viewable from neighboring properties. Number 2. The benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by some method feasible for the applicant to pursue other than the requested area variance. Requested variance number 1. Applicant has indicated that proposed location of the retaining wall within the stream corridor is the only feasible location, as relocation of the same would require larger slope cuts and environmental disturbances. Requested variance number 2. Applicant has indicated that the location of the security fence is the only feasible location given the existing topography of the site and the site layout. The proposed fence line follows the natural ridge line in order to effectively limit visibility of the fence and the need for additional grading of the natural landscape. Requested variance number 3. Applicant has indicated that curbing required under the code of all off-street parking lot is infeasible as it would reduce the on-site parking supply or would otherwise require expansion into existing wetland buffer areas. Moreover, the purpose of the curbing would be eventuated by alternative means such as alternative screening, special colored pavement, and potentially the inclusion of solar canopies. Requested variance number 4. Applicant has indicated that the retaining wall within the setback for the zoning district boundary is the only feasible location that will allow for the proposed development while minimizing the site disturbance and environmental impacts of the associated grading work. And requested variance number 5. Applicant has indicated that the proposed location for the event barn deck is the most feasible location to obtain the benefit which they are seeking and will eliminate the need for the previously approved variance for a proposed pool, which would have resulted in greater impacts to the site. Number 3, requested variances number 2, 3, and 4 are numerically substantial. Requested variance number 1. Requested variance is not numerically substantial as it will result in a 73-foot setback where a 100-foot setback is required. Moreover, this is a reduction of an encroachment to the setback which was previously approved by the board. Requested variance number 2. The requested variance is numerically substantial. The variance will result in a 10-foot setback at the closest point of the security fence where a 150-foot setback is required. However, the existing topography and natural tree line will provide effective screening. Requested variance number 3. Although numerically substantial because it will allow the applicant to eliminate curb planting islands or beds within the off-street parking where curb planting islands or beds equal to 15% of the total square footage of all parking stalls and aisles is required. However, the request is reasonable when considered with the alternative screening and shading measures and the reduction of wetland buffer disturbances and other environmental impacts to the site. Requested variance number 4. The requested variance is numerically substantial as it will allow a 12-foot setback from the north zoning district boundary where 100 feet is required. However, the applicant had previously established that the encroachment is proposed in this area due in part to a pre-contact area located to the east, the Winnicke Conservation easement to the south, and existing topography and rock outcrops that will remain undisturbed. And requested variance number 5. The requested variance is not numerically substantial as it will result in a setback of 85 feet where a 100-foot buffer is required for the event barn deck. Moreover, the encroachment will not be visible from nearby properties. Number 4, the requested variance will not have an adverse effect on impact of the physical environmental conditions in the general neighborhood or district. Requested variance number 1. The requested variance will eliminate the need for the previously approved variance for the pool and will allow for the construction of the proposed stone retaining wall associated with the event barn deck. This will have less impact and disturbance to the environmental condition of the site. Requested variance number 2. The security fence will be screened by the existing tree line and will be installed to follow the natural topography of the site, thereby effectively minimizing environmental impacts that may result from grading. Requested variance number 3. The applicant will minimize environmental impacts which could be resulted from the elimination of the curb planting islands by utilizing alternative environmentally friendly paving, alternative screening, existing trees, and potential canopy covers. Requested variance number 4. The requested variance will allow for the construction of the retaining wall within the north zoning boundary setback. It will be internal to the site and is not anticipated to result in any impact, environmental or otherwise, to the general neighborhood or district. Requested variance number 5. The requested variance will allow for the construction of the deck associated with the event barn structure. There will be a net reduction in environmental impact to the site as the amended plan will eliminate the impact of the previously proposed pool. 5. The difficulties are self-created. Applicants obtained their leasehold interest for the site as is and subject to the current zoning code. Be it further resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals hereby grants the requested variance subject to the following conditions. 1, pursuant to the section 108-33.5 F1, the authorized activity must commence within 1 year from the date of this issuance, otherwise it is revoked, and payment of all fees and escrow. Counselor, how do we proceed on this?
So I will just remind everyone what the 5 variances that are requested are, and then you guys can proceed with the vote. So you've heard all the factors. Variance number 1 relates to a setback of 73 feet, where 100 feet is required for the Marici Kill Stream Corridor Buffer for grading work and the construction of a retaining wall.
I'm not sure it's the Marici Kill. It's the
Northern.
stream
Yeah.
is
The
not.
northern
Yeah,
stream?
northern stream, sorry.
Okay. Want
Sorry
to
to-
read that for the record?
Sorry to
Yes.
interrupt.
Nope.
It might be unnamed.
It
It isn't unnamed.
It is.
Yeah.
I'll just call it the
Just say the
northern stream
northern
corridor
stream
buffer.
corridor, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go
Sorry.
ahead, Counselor, go ahead.
Okay. So you've heard the factors. Someone can make a motion to grant.
I make a motion to grant the requested variance number 1.
Second. Right, move to grant the,
So he moved. Now, April, you seconded?
second.
So now all in favor of granting request variance number 1?
Aye.
Yes.
Yep, first variance. All right.
That way. Usually we do a roll call, so I just want to make sure I get everybody's vote. I'm
apologize.
not,
Do- Just for the record, we'll do the roll call.
okay, so this is just for number 1. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Mr. Campus.
Aye.
Ms. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Travis.
Aye.
Vice Chair Perkins.
Yeah, aye.
Chair Bowen.
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
it's just a little clearer that way.
I
It's
did-
gonna be a little clunky, Kathleen. Do you have it going down? There's gonna be
Yeah, I
5
made
votes.
spaces to write every variance.
Okay, great.
Vote, yes.
Okay. All right, so variance number 2 would be to allow a setback of 10 feet at the closest point where 100 feet is required for the construction of the security fence. Someone would like to consider making a motion to grant?
I'll make a motion to grant to allow a setback of 10 feet at the closest point where 150 feet is required pursuant to Section 108-5.13C9A for the construction of a security fence.
Second the motion?
Mr. Campus.
Aye.
Ms. Daly.
Aye.
Mr. Travis.
Aye.
Vice Chair Perkins.
Nay.
And Chair Bowen.
Aye.
Okay. All right, requested variance number 3 was to allow the total elimination of the curbed planting islands or beds within the off-street parking, the valet parking area, where they would have to provide 15% of the total square footage of all parking stalls or aisles as planting areas.
I make a motion to grant the variance number 3 as just stated.
Second the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Go.
That was 5 ayes.
Yes.
Okay.
5 ayes.
Okay.
Do you want to do the roll call?
Roll call on number 3.
Oh, sure, I can do it that way too.
Yeah.
Mr. Campus.
Aye.
Ms. Daly.
Keep it
Aye.
consistent.
Mr. Travis.
Aye.
Vice Chair Perkins.
Aye.
And Chair Bowen.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, requested variance number 4 would be to allow a 12-foot setback from the north boundary of the zoning district where 100 feet is required relating to the construction of the retaining wall.
One quick question.
Sure.
What is the length of that wall?
So, this is approximately 70 feet. In our, as I said, you know, we're looking at tiering it if we can,
Yeah.
so.
Go ahead. Read it out.
You want me to read it again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Again, this is requested variance number 4 to allow a 12-foot setback from the north boundary of the zoning district where 100 feet is required relating to the construction of the retaining wall.
Make the nomination. No, a motion.
Oh, I make a motion to requested variance number 4.
To grant requested variance number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. It's Mr. Campus.
Aye.
Ms. Daly?
Aye.
Mr. Travis?
Aye.
Vice Chair Perkins?
Aye.
Chair Bowen?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Last counselor, go ahead.
All right.
You're doing great.
Last one, request variance number 5 would be to allow an 85-foot setback from the north boundary of the zoning district where 100 feet is required for the construction of the event barn deck.
Gregory, make a motion. Gregory.
I make a motion that we pass Resolution 5.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Campus?
Aye.
Ms. Daly?
Aye.
Mr. Travis?
Aye.
Vice Chair Perkins?
Aye.
Chair Bowen?
Aye.
Well,
Well,
thank you
so
all.
much.
We really
Congratulations,
appreciate
gentlemen.
it, and
it was a hard-won battle.
it was a vigorous discussion.
It
Thank you.
was, and-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You can see we got,
We owe you tennis courts.
It does
somewhere.
look nice.
At least the spa day.
That can be doubled as a basketball and
It does look nice. The buildings are nice.
Would you like to adjourn the meeting?
you know, it's,
Sorry.
Move to adjourn the meeting.
yes. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.